Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be making some chili. It has been a minute since I made this. I grabbed out everything I needed. Hopefully I might have forgot a couple things. If I did, I will let you know during the video, but I think I got everything. Okay, so over here we've just got some onion and garlic. There's not many recipes I start that doesn't have onion and garlic in it. I have 4 tomatoes. Normally, I would just do 2 cans of diced tomatoes, but because I was in the grocery store anyway, they looked really good. So I was like, I'll just use fresh tomatoes this time. But you could sub out 2 cans of diced tomatoes. And then in the back, I have some colorful bell peppers. Normally, I do 1 bell pepper. It can be green, red. It really doesn't matter. I like the colorful aspect of those ones. And then I usually do 1 serrano pepper, but they did not have any serrano peppers at the store, and the jalapeno peppers looked a little suspicious, so we're just going to do bell pepper this time. I've got some organic tomato paste up in the front here. Call me crazy, but we're going to use the entire can, so if you don't like a super concentrated tomato taste, you might want to just use like half a can and then go up from there. I have a can of red kidney beans. I have a can of corn, and I know that sounds crazy in chili, but I promise once you do it, you will not want to go back unless you don't like corn, and then that's none of my business. In the back here, I have Worcestershire sauce. Hopefully I said that right. Better than bouillon, beef base, and some water. I'm going to mix this together to make like a beef broth. Organic ground beef from Costco. This is a pound. Normally, actually, it's a little over a pound, 1.34 pounds. Usually I do 2, but we're working with what we got today. Light brown sugar. I know, again, like the corn, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I promise it's really good. Then for seasonings and stuff over here, I have some dark chili powder, some avocado oil. You could use olive or whatever oil you have. That's really not that serious. Salt and pepper. And then in the front, I have cumin, paprika, and then the Trader Joe's chili lime seasoning. Not at all necessary. If you don't have that, don't go out and buy it. Paprika and cumin and the chili powder are perfectly fine, but I just like doing a little bit of that chili lime just to give it something. So those are all of the ingredients we're going to need to put together this chili. And then I'm going to probably be doing a voiceover because Oliver is currently asleep, but that changes minute by minute. So I'll probably be doing a voiceover after the fact just to make it a little bit easier so you don't hear him screaming in the background. Okay. Let's get started. Okay, so first things first, I'm getting some cloves of garlic peeled and minced. In the recipe down below, I'm going to rate 3 to 4 cloves of garlic because that's what a normal human would put in this recipe, but I think I end up putting like 6 or 7 cloves because we truly love garlic over here. So just go with your heart. Whatever your heart tells you in the amount of garlic you want to use, you feel free. After the garlic, I am taking 1 medium yellow onion and I'm cutting it up. Whatever onion you have on hand, I'm sure is perfectly fine. And if it's a large onion, you probably just want half it depending on your love for onion. But we're just roughly chopping it. We don't really get too crazy about how thick onion is over here. You might need to dice it up finer, but that's how it goes over here. Next up, I'm going to be doing about 1.5 bell peppers in this particular chili. I had 3 bell peppers total, so I ended up chopping them all up for myself to save some for a breakfast meal. So you'll see me chop them all up. I have a red, a yellow, and an orange. I just like it colorful, but you can use green pepper if you have that on hand. I like to cut away from the rib on the inside, so then that way I'm not cleaning up so many seeds, but I just, again, roughly dicing them. Does not need to be super fancy for our liking over here. So you can see me just pushing that to the side because I'm going to end up putting it in a little container for myself for breakfast, scrambles, or whatever. Next, I'm going to move on to some tomatoes. And for this, I have 4 tomatoes that just looked really good in the grocery store. But if you don't want to use fresh tomatoes, you can easily just use a can of diced tomatoes. That's perfectly fine. That's what I normally use. But these looked like super red and they were just calling to me, so I just went with diced tomatoes. You can see I'm putting all these ingredients into little mixing bowls, and that's just to make it easier on me afterwards to dump everything in. You don't have to do it in this order. You can dice as you go, but this is just to make my life a little bit easier because Oliver was sleeping at this point. So it'd be easier for me to prep everything and then dump everything in case he woke up. Next up, we have the super difficult task of opening the cans. Can anyone explain to me why the Kirkland brand tomato paste, you have to open it upside down? That just drives me crazy. Next up, I'm draining the corn and the beans. I have this cool thing that just goes right over the can, so it makes it easy to drain it and even rinse it. And then I'm just pouring that all in with my ingredients that I'm going to end up dumping later. Next up, I'm taking a cup of water and I'm adding a little bit of Better Than Bouillon beef base to it. So this is just like if you have beef broth on hand, that's perfectly fine. It's just my substitution for it. So I'm using a Dutch oven today, but this easily can also be done in a crock pot if you want. You just have to make sure to cook the meat ahead of time. But I'm just going ahead and getting my onions, bell peppers, and garlic in there. And then I'm adding my spices because I think it's really important to make sure to spice every layer of a dish that you make. So I'm adding all of my spices in and just kind of zhuzhing that around. I just let the onions and garlic cook until they're a little bit softer, nothing crazy. Then I'm adding in a pound of ground beef. I think it's like a little over a pound, like 1.33 pounds, adding some salt and pepper at this point. And then I have this amazing meat masher thingy from Pampered Chef, so I'm about to switch to that. But I've seen different versions on Amazon and things like that, so you don't have to get the Pampered Chef version. But that concept right there for cooking up meat has literally been a game changer, so I would definitely look into it. My cat is now here, so she's saying hello. Hello, Nala, how are you? So at this point, I'm just getting the beef browned up, and then next you're gonna see me add in the tomato paste. I like to add that in at this point to kind of make a base to the dish, I guess you could say. So I like to add it in at this point, but if you're just dumping and going, it's perfectly fine to do it whenever. Next up, I'm adding some Worcestershire sauce. I don't know if I said it right. And then the beef broth, and we're just gonna get that stirred in all together. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start dumping in the rest of the ingredients. So first I have some brown sugar going in. And I know you're like, what? I'm telling you, brown sugar makes such a difference in this dish. I think I put 1/4 cup in there. If you've never made chili with brown sugar before, maybe just start with like 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons, but I promise it makes a huge difference in the chili. And then I'm just dumping in the diced tomatoes, corn, beans, all of the rest of those good ingredients right into the Dutch oven. And then next up, we're adding the seasons again. So like I said, I like to layer. So now that we've got all the rest of the ingredients in there, we're getting all the seasonings and all the salt and pepper. And I just want to talk about the corn too, because I know corn and chili is like weird, but I'm telling you, it like makes a difference in the dish. So if you've never tried corn and chili, I would 100% recommend it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed cooking this chili with me today. Again, the recipe will be in the comments, so check that down below, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.